Hey there traders, hope that your new year of trading is off to a very good start. I just wanted to walk through some trades that I took this week across different time frames, day trades and swing trades. And for me as a full-time trader, I prefer to really kind of diversify that way. I know that I can diversify directionally, trading both the long and the short side, and we'll kind of discuss a little bit of that in this video, but also I can diversify by trading on different time frames. I can have capital at work across different modes of transportation, I guess, for the charts, and create some cash flow trades intraday, and I can also look to generate some of the more wealth building types of trades through swing trades. So let me walk you through the trades that I took this week. Now, it was a holiday shortened week. The market was closed on Monday. Tuesday, we did see a pretty sizable gap higher. So in terms of day trades on Tuesday, there were none. The setups I was looking to take on Tuesday for day trades, we saw gaps beyond those levels, and then the short candidates just never triggered. So I did enter a couple of swing trades on Tuesday. One of them was Vertex, and I was looking to trade it out of this descending channel. And on the bullish side, that looked pretty good to me, and I set a pretty tight stop here. I actually got whipped out of that, stopped out for a loss on this one for a swing trade. Also on Tuesday, I entered a trade in Coach on the short side, and that was trading this channel right here. This is a downtrend channel, so the stock has been working its way lower here in recent weeks. It had rallied on pretty unconvincing volume here to the upper end of its channel and started to stall out and finished weak the previous Friday. And so then Tuesday, this thing started to work lower. I entered a short position looking for a return to the lower end of the channel, but instead this thing reversed back up and cleared this resistance area and stopped me out for a loss. So I actually took 3 swing positions last week. They all stopped out for very minor losses of 2 to 4% each. Okay. The other one that I took was subsequently on Thursday. This was in Pandora, letter P, and I was looking at this stock as it had found some multi-month support, and in recent weeks had held above this zone. It also was threatening to break this descending trend line here, and so I was looking for a push through this 1050 area, which took place on Thursday. The thing started to go, and then it turned right back around and shook me out. I was keeping a very tight stop on this one as well, just because some of these lower dollar stocks tend to move quite a bit in terms of percentage basis, and so I look to manage my risk pretty tight on those. Now, for the day trades, though, there were really some excellent moves. Let me walk you through some of these patterns. On Wednesday, I entered this SodaStream. This is a stock right here with this descending trend line. I entered it only as a day trade. You can see here on the intraday chart here, it busted through that trend line right there and just ran higher. So an entry of 35.25 took this thing all the way up near 38. Okay, stopped just a couple cents shy of that. That represented a 7.8% move intraday, so very nice move. Up next was AGP. This was entered on Wednesday, looking for a break of this trend line, and I actually was only interested in the initial pop here on this one day. I did note that there was this unfilled gap all the way back to last July up to around the 66 area, which the stock ultimately filled on Friday, going up almost to 67. So we did see that gap completely get filled, but again, all I was looking for was the move right here. So I went long for a day trade here, and that was at 60.75. This thing just made minor progress, up a few cents by the end of the day. Kind of no big deal, really a non-event. Under Armour. This is one I was looking at on the short side with this kind of wedge pattern beneath a broken wedge. So we had this breakdown right here from this big wedge, and then the stock had consolidated in this narrowing fashion and looked like it may be ready for another move lower. So I got short here on Wednesday. That was at 71.50. Let me show you that on the intraday chart. That was right here. 71.50 was right here. And that really was right near the low of the day. So this thing really reversed back up and stopped me out. So I generally keep a 1% stop on these day trades. So for that one, that was about a 72-cent loss. Nothing real tragic at all. Also, Fossil, this is one I took on the short side on Wednesday through this 79 level. This thing has been persistently weak. It had already made a multi-day move lower, which generally shows that a stock may be getting a little bit stretched, but there was still some potential here as the support level was starting to get breached for a continued move lower back down toward the low 70s. So it still had some pretty good potential. So I shorted Fossil through this 79 level. That was right here early in the day on Wednesday, and made some minor progress. It came down. That morning low right there was 78.42. So it moved 60 cents or so, and then it reversed back up. So that one made minor progress before reversing back up and making a new high on the day, which is definitely an exit signal. Also, on Thursday, I took a shot at this Sina on the short side as it had this downtrend already very much in place, very clean downtrend. Had a bounce attempt here that's been very unconvincing. In fact, this prior support zone had really evolved into some resistance here near term. So I like that. And so I took it on Thursday expecting this thing to move lower, which didn't take place until Friday, and I'll get to that again. But here again, Thursday for Sina went short through the 52.50 level, which is right here. And this thing really just made minimal progress before reversing back up and stopping me out here. So that was not a big deal. Again, 1% loss there on the Sina trade on Thursday. Also on Thursday, went short this GMCR, which is Green Mountain Coffee, a stock that's really been suffering a lot lately. It's been hugging this uptrend line here over the past few weeks and just acting like it's just begging to break it. So on Thursday, as GMCR undercut this 44.90 level that was right here, okay, early in the session, it made some downside progress. It moved about $1 intraday, but that was down here to this close, to this low, and then by the close it was up about 56 cents. So a little better than 1% gain there. On Friday, there were some really good trades though. On the long side, I took this Hansen Natural for a day trade on the long side. I've got this uptrend line really just kind of pointing to the fact that every dip continues to get bought in this stock. It did pull back here very quietly over the past couple of weeks, held above this trend line, and then turned higher to kind of start to pressure this trend line. So took this for a trade on the long side through 94.50. Let me show you the intraday chart here on Friday. That took place right there at the open. It opened just a few cents beneath that. I believe it was a 94.40 open, and then just worked its way higher from there. To the peak of the day, that was about a $2 run before it really just kind of stalled out and started to roll over. So this represented a really good spot to kind of book some gains, and that was a nice intraday move there with no movement against me. Also shorted this Green Mountain Coffee Roasters again, same type of setup. Again, on Thursday it had made a little bit of progress, just still looked like it had some room to go. So for Friday, for GMCR for subscribers, I obviously mentioned this 43.80 trigger price, which is right around here. We see that that got broken in the afternoon with a pretty swift move lower. This thing came down about $1.20 just on that initial move right there. So that was a really nice move of nearly 3% just straight down. Just a really nice move there late in the day. And then finally reshorted this Sina on Friday. Again, just still trading this kind of failed bounce scenario, looking for some movement back to the downside. So intraday, the entry was at $52, which I listed on Thursday night in the member area. We undercut that 52 level and never looked back. We moved lower, we trended sideways, and moved lower again into the low of the day. This was about a $4 move. It stopped just shy of going $4 as the low of the day was 48. Well, let's see exactly, 48.05. So it went $3.95. Really good move with no pain whatsoever. So again, this is just kind of a review of the trades taken this week. It's a really good way to kind of see that there was some excellent potential despite seeing a big gap on Tuesday and then really no follow through by the overall market for the remainder of the week. There were some excellent moves to capture out there, And again, it just highlights the importance of being willing to trade multiple time frames. Trading is a numbers game. So we've got to put our capital at risk at each opportunity that we see, knowing that over time that numbers game is going to play out in our favor if we've got a technical edge. And so that's my style of trading. I just wanted to walk you through this. Thanks for joining me for this video. Have a great weekend and go get them next week.